Welcome to another episode of SpitBallin. I'm your host AJ, and alongside me as always is my co-host Christian. And on this episode of the show, we will talk about the little news that is happening in the NFL over the past week. As we've said multiple times on previous episodes, the NFL is at a very stale period up until we get to the Hall of Fame game. There really won't be much news going on in the NFL. However, there is some stuff happening that we will talk about today. And we do have a sneak peek later on what we will be doing once the month of August starts. We will be doing some new type of NFL coverage starting in August. But before we get into that, we will also be talking about some of the NBA signings that have happened this last week as well. And as we've been talking about the past couple episodes, some more LeBron James rumors. As always, you can listen to the podcast most places you find your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also find us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under the handle @PodSpitBallin. That is @POD Spitballin. So jumping right into it, the little NFL news that we have this week that we have talked about this previous episodes, but it is a developing situation. Terrion Arnold is, as we said last time, in a very interesting situation that he is currently being investigated by authorities for a possible kidnapping charge and ransom and just a lot of criminal charges that you really just don't want to see a young man like Terrion Arnold make in his life, especially at the point of his career he's in, a very young player that was expected to develop great this year and possibly take that leap finally. But now we might never know depending on how this situation unfolds. However, if there is a light at the end of the tunnel for Terrion Arnold, as of now, it looks like the situation may unfold in his favor, purely off of the Jets and Houston Texans, after Terrion Arnold cleared waivers after being cut from the Detroit Lions, have now both worked him out and are interested in signing him. The Jets have the connection that Aaron Glenn, their head coach, was Terrion Arnold's defensive coordinator in his rookie and sophomore season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christian, but I want to say both years, unless it was just his rookie season.
I think it might have just been his rookie season.
Yes, rookie season, and then he got hired for the Jets job last year. So yes, just his rookie season. And now, being the head coach of the New York Jets, could bring in a young corner, which the Jets desperately do need some corner help outside of Brandon Stevens. That's really all they got. They did draft D'Angelo Pons in this year's NFL draft, but he is a rookie and will be most likely playing the slot role, so they could definitely use another outside guy like Terrion Arnold. And the connection's there between him and Aaron Glenn. The Texans, a team that just is amazing defensively and will just look to get better defensively possibly. They already have Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter at corner. And now you'd be adding Terrion Arnold to that duo. It would make it into a possible three-headed monster if Terrion Arnold actually could take a jump this year. We will have to see, though, how a situation unfolds, if he'll even be able to sign with a team and take that jump professionally. Hopefully, for his sake, it is found that he's innocent, and we will see him on the field this year. Christian, what do you think about the Terrion Arnold situation as it continues to develop week by week?
I don't know. I'm not surprised he's getting interest from teams. I mean, I'm looking at what his agent says. There's a very good likelihood he signs soon. I mean, it's his agent. He's supposed to say that. He's not going to go out there and say that no one has interest on him. I don't know what's going to happen. I think teams are still waiting to see if more information comes out. But we'll see what happens with him. It's a weird situation where I feel like nothing's been coming out just on more about the case, more about anything. So he's kind of just a sitting duck at the moment. So we really don't know what to make of it.
Exactly. We will have to see how this case concludes. It has been a quiet couple weeks exactly about the case, and more so just rumors about what he'll be doing in the NFL in the next season. So we will have to see how this case does end up unfolding. But I would assume if he is going to play this season, he would most likely sign with a team before training camp, because then once training camp starts, teams really are not looking to add pieces to their team, because then you're just looking at you're in training camp for, let's say, a month, and then you add a guy like Terrion Arnold, who most likely will be your cornerback number 2, let's say, for the New York Jets. Now, though, these guys that were taking those reps get pushed down, and if Terrion Arnold can't pick up the playbook quick enough, you're messing up your whole system that you've been ingraining now this offseason so far. So most likely, I do think we'll see him on a team before training camp, if anything, but we will have to see how the case does play out in court. Moving on now to Isaiah McDuffie getting a contract extension with the Green Bay Packers. The linebacker has been very solid for the Packers in his early career. I really think, though, this is a main big extension purely off of the reason that the Packers did lose a lot at linebacker this past offseason. We saw them trade Rashawn Gary, and then we did also see them lose we saw them lose their inside linebacker, Quay Walker, to the Las Vegas Raiders. So they did lose a bit at linebacker this offseason, but now lock in Isaiah McDuffie for the long term. Christian, what do you think about McDuffie staying in Green Bay? I think this is great for Green Bay, as Quay Walker is really that leader linebacker, I'd say, outside of Micah Parsons for them. And now Isaiah McDuffie, I believe, will kind of just take Quay Walker's place.
Yeah, I don't know what he's always been just a rotational guy for them. This makes it so it's a 2-year deal now, so he'll be locked in through 2027. I think it's only $5 million, so it's not like they're not paying him a ton. He is a captain on the team. He's one of their core special teamer guys. So for Packers fans, they're probably really excited. I'm pretty sure Packers fans like this guy. I don't think there's no reason for them not to like him. He's been a cap for the past 2 years. He's a big special teamer guy. He had 92 tackles last year as a rotational linebacker, so if he becomes a starter this year, maybe he'll be better. We don't know. We'll see.
We will have to see how McDuffie does if he does get reps at starter now with Quay Walker gone. And for the last bit of NFL news on today's episode, it is a hot rumor that has been circulating the NFL world for a while now, but Aaron Donald possibly wants to return is really all it is. Nobody knows for sure if this is truthful in any regard. There's been mentions of it by Aaron Donald himself, but more in a joking way, it seems like. But ever since they did make the trade for Myles Garrett, there has been a lot of steam now towards this rumor. And the biggest news now in this is Aaron Donald was seen practicing at the Los Angeles Rams facility over the last week, and he was not just practicing like some former NFL players do by going there and just working out in the gym or running out on the field, just in whatever streetwear he's in or workout clothes. He was practicing in upper pads and a helmet. So not full pads, but he was wearing chest pads and a helmet. So that is a little interesting to see a retired player do, because why would you be practicing in football gear if you're not going to go play football? That is a bit odd to do if you have no intentions of playing this season. So that is where this rumor now has really gained some steam over the last week, and we will see if it does come to fruition. And the latest now in this rumor train is that today, Davante Adams, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, posted on his Instagram story a post of him and Aaron Donald and captioned it, "My brother." Aaron Donald also reposted this, and a lot of fans are speculating, like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, this is him, like, saying, like, my brother, you're back almost. But that's just all speculation. We're not going to read too much into that, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Aaron Donald is going back to the Rams when it may not happen. But I do think that definitely could mean something, because why would Davante Adams post that for no reason? I couldn't tell you. We all do know that wide receivers are definitely the most cryptic and interesting players when it comes to posting on social media, so it's what we're getting here from Davante Adams. Christian, what do you think about this Davante Adams post with Aaron Donald, that Aaron Donald did repost himself, and about Donald working out at the Rams facility, not in streetwear, but in pads and a helmet?
I didn't even see the Davante Adams post, but like you said, when it comes to receivers, you got to take everything they say with a grain of salt. I didn't think it would actually happen, but I'm looking. I think Schefter tweeted something, or he said something before. He said Donald's recent appearance at the Rams facility was not a routine visit, but rather a trial run to see how his mind and body reacted to being back in pads on the football field. That seems, I don't know how truthful it is. I mean, it is from Schefter. It would just be crazy. Like, obviously, Aaron Donald, he probably won't, if he does go back into pads, he does start playing again, he won't be the same player, not even near what he was. You can't really take 3 years off of football and then come back in an elite form. I think he'd still be good. everyone's seen his workouts he's been doing since he's retired. He's definitely still in shape. If it's football shape, that's the question. That's a completely different thing. That's one of the main reasons why he said he wanted to retire, is because he felt burnt out at the age of 32 from all the off-season workouts. These guys do a lot, and it's a lot on the body. Now that he's 35, and he also said in his 10 years that he did everything that he needed to, which is why I never thought he would actually ever come out of retirement. But if he does, I mean, it just makes the Rams even stronger. They already have Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk as their rushing defensive ends, and it might be the greatest rotational, like, rushing defensive ends I've seen, like, especially if Aaron Donald can even come back to even a sliver of what he was, especially with Myles Garrett rushing on the edge as well. It's interesting to see. I don't take what Devontae Adams said very highly. I do take what Schefter says very highly, that if he is looking to get back on the field, it would be very interesting, and I would love to see that, especially with Myles Garrett.
We will have to see if this does end up being true, and we do see Aaron Donald come back. Exactly like what you said, though. You really can't take social media posts like the Devontae Adams post so truthfully, because it could just be something he's posting for fun, or just, wanted to shout at Aaron Donald today. You really can't take that so to heart, but we will have to see if Donald does make the return. And as Christian said, that would be a very scary defensive line. They have Myles Garrett already, plus Kobe Turner. They also do have Poona Ford in the interior alongside Braden Fisk. So this would be a very just insane rotational defensive line, because all these guys can't play at once. And maybe that would even help Aaron Donald if he's not able to stay on the field as long as he used to. He could just be kind of coming in and out, and then just be a beast when he's on the field because he's not gassed out all the time. So we will have to see how that plays out for the Rams and Donald. But that is going to do it for the NFL coverage on today's episode. Now heading into the NBA. The NBA, not much news going on as well. There are some minor contract extensions that have occurred and new signings, but we really are just going to be talking about the headlines here. And one of the bigger headlines was that Victor Wembanyama is locked in for 5 more years with the San Antonio Spurs, getting a $252 million 5-year extension. And the biggest thing out of this news is that Wembanyama was eligible for a $300 million extension due to winning DPOY and winning Rookie of the Year. Those incentives boost his pay because that is what the NBA agreed to in their last CBA, that if a player makes certain All-Star appearances, win certain awards, that then they are allowed to make more money than a player who hasn't. So Wembanyama was due $300 million, but like the player that he lost to in the NBA Finals, like Jalen Brunson, he takes a pay cut. He maybe sees the vision that Brunson saw, that he now knows by taking that $50 million pay cut, unlike the Oklahoma City Thunder that had to break up their young core because they all wanted big money. Now, him, Dylan Harper, and Stephon Castle most likely will be together for the foreseeable future. I would assume that that is mainly what this pay cut was for, to ensure that that core trio can stay together. So we will have to see how this plays out for Wembanyama and the Spurs. Christian, what do you think about Wembanyama taking a pay cut to either ensure that that trio stays together, or to also help the Spurs just sign other people either this free agency or next year?
It's always crazy seeing these athletes that take pay cuts, because most of them don't do it. We've seen it recently with Jalen Brunson taking a massive pay cut, and I believe that's one of the main reasons the Knicks were able to retain what they had, and they were able to win a finals off it. So it ended up working out in their favor. And it seems like when you watch Spurs games, it seems like Victor Wembanyama just loves playing in the system. He loves playing with the players they have. And unfortunately, when you're as good as Victor Wembanyama and you get paid as much as he is, he's taking a massive pay cut. It makes it so they don't. I don't know the exact amount. Like you said, I think he took 25 and not 30, so it makes it so they're not in the luxury tax. It makes it so they can retain guys like Stephon Castle, like Dylan Harper in the future. They already paid guys out like Julius Chapaney. They can't do that if Vic doesn't take a pay cut. And like you said, the Thunder, it's becoming very evident that they can't retain everybody. And like I said, I think Victor just loves playing with all these guys, and it just gives them more leeway so they can pay not even just role players, but retaining the star talent that they've been drafting these past few years.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly why we both believe Wembanyama took this pay cut. It is definitely to ensure, I believe, that trio staying together and bringing in veterans like they signed Tobias Harris this offseason, keeping veterans like Julian Champagnie. So I do believe that that is the goal of this move by Victor Wembanyama. We will see if it does pay off like it did for Jalen Brunson, as the Knicks did win the NBA Finals. Pretty much because of him taking that pay cut, it was able for them to bring in guys like OG Anunoby and Josh Hart. So we will have to see if this pans out for the Spurs. And it is a very controversial thing about the NBA recently, and a lot of players are coming out against the rule that popularity gained from CJ McCollum. He's the one who put it in place as the president of the NBA PA, that teams, I forget the exact rule, but I don't know if it was the aprons and everything that he implemented himself and came up with, but then he was kind of a driving force, though, behind these aprons and the luxury tax. And because of that is why we see young cores not being able to stay together, like the Thunder core that we might see split up because of these aprons and luxury tax. A lot of players have come out against it and hope in the next CBA that we will see change, because teams are drafting like players like Wembanyama, Castle, and Harper, and then typically have to lose one of them purely because they just can't afford it because of these weird taxes and aprons, which you really should not be penalizing a team for drafting well. So we will have to see how that plays out when the next NBA CBA is. But moving on now into our last bit of NBA news. LeBron James is still a free agent. We have now been talking about it for a while on SpitBallin, but the little bit of news that has come out is that supposedly LeBron James is inching closer to signing. That is what Brian Windhorst reported today, that's what's going to happen. He's inching closer to signing. I feel like that really isn't relevant news because we all kind of know that. Obviously, he has to sign soon, because if he doesn't sign soon, it's just going to end up being too late in a sense of team construction, and other teams won't want to wait around for him to sign because they'd like to know what their team is and go sign other guys that are still available. So LeBron James, though, inching closer to signing, and the only rumor that we have seen come out is that he is most likely going to Cleveland or Miami. The Philly rumor was really just about, wow, how much of a super team that would be, but supposedly LeBron does not have much interest in going to Philadelphia. Miami and Cleveland are right now looking to be the final two suitors for LeBron, and the big rumor that came out today was that the Heat are all in on LeBron, it seems like, because it came out that Russell Westbrook wants to go play for the Miami Heat, and the Heat seem like they want him as well. However, they also want LeBron, and it came out that Russell Westbrook will not play on the same team as LeBron again like they did when they were both on the Lakers. So it was basically Westbrook will go to the Heat if LeBron doesn't. So it's really now just a waiting game to see where LeBron goes and then how these teams end up being constructed post-LeBron signing. I think the Cavs and Heat are both going to have to really evaluate their talent depending on if they get LeBron or not. Whichever team gets LeBron will obviously be the better off team, and I do definitely believe that it would greatly benefit the Heat more than it would the Cavs, because they do already have stars like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and outside of Giannis and Bam, the Heat don't have much. You could say Andrew Wiggins, but getting LeBron would be a huge big three for Miami like they did with LeBron in the past with D. Wade and Chris Bosh. So we will have to see where LeBron ends up deciding to go. And Christian, what do you think LeBron will do, and when do you think it will happen? I personally believe, as we both said last episode, it will be Miami. I think he goes to Miami ultimately, as I just think that's the best destination for him as a person who's leaving Los Angeles. Why would you want to go somewhere that is the complete opposite of Los Angeles, like Cleveland, where Miami, pretty similar. You'll have warm weather all year, and he loves to golf. You can golf all year in Miami. You can't do that in Cleveland.
I don't think it's going to be Cleveland as well. I do think that, and I've been seeing it for the past few days, it's been inching more towards Miami as the days go on. Why I don't think it should be Cleveland, the problem with him going back to Cleveland for a third time, I feel like it will be a complete different scenario if his career's over, and it's like, I want to join like one day and retire as a Cav. I would completely understand that. He's still at the top, not the top of his game, but he's still a very good player in the league. And I feel like going back to Cleveland a third time doesn't really diminish what he did going back the first time. But at that point, if you're going to go back a third time, you should have just stayed there the entirety and not left to LA at that point. You should have just stayed Cleveland until you retire then. And I think he just fits well with Giannis and Bam, especially like you said, they have Wiggins, they have Davion Mitchell. LeBron would be the main ball handler, which if he went to a team like Cleveland, he wouldn't be. It would be Donovan Mitchell. But and it's also funny because I also realized this a few weeks ago. I didn't realize the friction that him and Westbrook had when they were on the Lakers. I remember you talking to me about it. And you were surprised that I didn't know. Apparently, I was under a rock when that happened. But Westbrook doesn't, like you said, Westbrook doesn't want to play with LeBron, and it seems like if Miami lands LeBron, they're not going to get Westbrook. Westbrook's going to go somewhere else very far away. But if they don't get LeBron, Westbrook's a good, I'm not going to say second option for Miami because Westbrook's still a very capable player, but Westbrook's another option that Miami should look at. So I think LeBron will go to Miami, though, and Westbrook, I don't know what team suits him. I assume it would be a contender. I don't know. I feel like you can go back to Denver, maybe. Not really Sacramento. There's not many teams that I think that would take him besides Miami, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will have to see how the LeBron situation plays out, as we've said. Then it does affect a lot of other players and the market in general, like Russell Westbrook. So then we will have to see where a player like him ends up. And I honestly think I agree that it would definitely probably be a contender. I could see Denver. I could also just see then if he can't go to another team that kind of like wants him, which would be Miami, and it's almost like the King situation that happened last season where he was not signed basically a week before the season started, and then he signed finally with the Kings. I could see him trying to just then go back to OKC and kind of farewell tour it and be done. I could very much see that happening for Russell Westbrook. But talking LeBron, Christian and I still both firmly believe it will be Miami. We will have to see how this ends up playing out. And to round out the episode now, Christian and I will be playing a game where Madden 27, it is getting released in exactly a month from us recording right now. It is July 13th. This episode will be going out July 14th. Madden 27 comes out on all platforms on August 13th. And the 99 Club for Madden 27 leaked today. Christian, I will be giving you the positions of the players, because obviously there's so many players to guess from. I'm not going to make Christian just start listing off random players. I will give you the positions, and then you can guess who you think is in the 99 Club this year. Currently, the 99 Club has an edge rusher, 2 quarterbacks, 1 tight end, and 2 wide receivers.
Let's go receiver. I'm assuming this is a JSN, probably a 99 this year.
JSN is one of the receivers that is in the 99 Club this year.
You said 2 receivers?
2 receivers.
Who else was like a stud last year at receiver? Was Jamar Chase good last year? I'm not gonna. Is it Jamar?
It is Jamar Chase, and I'm a little concerned that you don't remember how elite Jamar Chase was.
Oh, was he? What did he put up last year?
Jamar Chase, just to fact check myself, but I'm pretty sure he was extremely elite. Yeah, He had 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns. So not a high touchdown year, but had 1,400 yards on 125 catches.
I don't think that's 99 worthy, bro.
That's a pretty good season, though, I'd say.
Quarterback. There's 2 of them, and I saw a rumor weeks ago that Mahomes wasn't one of them. So I don't think
Mahomes is not one of them.
After
After being injured, it kind of makes sense. He did not play.
It does make sense. But you're telling me there's 2 99 quarterbacks over him? That makes no sense.
2 99 quarterbacks.
Josh Allen. It has to be
Josh Allen is one.
Is Lamar the other one?
Lamar is not the other one. Lamar Jackson, actually, something that we could maybe go into on next episode. The top 100 is getting released for last season, and he came out as the 69th best player this year, and there's been a lot of controversy around that, but we could talk about that possibly next episode.
No way they may. I mean, he's the MVP. Is it Stafford?
Stafford, I mean, yeah, how could you disagree with the MVP
I don't think
99?
I don't think he's 99 worthy, though.
I mean, it's the MVP. I feel like you have to kind of make him a 99.
I get that, but I guess.
All right, well, all you have left now is 1 tight end and 1 edge rusher.
All right, well, edge rusher is Myles Garrett.
It is the sack.
And then tight end, they made Trey McBride in 99.
And they did make Trey McBride in 99.
You know what? I respect that.
That was the biggest controversial one, though, on social media. A lot of people.
Trey McBride was elite this year.
That's a lot of people were saying that he was elite, but was he a 99? I don't know. I agree, though. I definitely think he was the best tight end last year. So then I've always been one to say I think Madden should just do a 99 at every position, because then it would be the best at each position. I think that'd be cool. But, so yeah, if you're going to do a 99 tight end, Trey McBride definitely deserves it out of any tight end. But now to end the episode, for our one last spitball today, this will be probably the first and only time Christian and I talk baseball to you guys. We're going to hop into the baseball world for our one last spitball. Tonight is the MLB's Home Run Derby. There are a lot of big names participating in it, such as Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Junior Caminero, Munetaka Murakami, Ben Rice, and I think a couple others that I can't remember. And Christian and I, though, will give you our prediction on who we think is going to win as the last spitball for today's episode. Personally, I believe Bryce Harper will win the 2026 Home Run Derby.
I'll go opposite. I'll go Schwarber then.
All right, well, you heard it here. We both think that at least one of the Phillies will win the Home Run Derby tonight. Myself thinking Bryce Harper, Christian going with Kyle Schwarber. Hope you enjoyed this episode of SpitBallin. As always, you can listen to SpitBallin places you find podcasts such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also find us on social media under the handle @PodSpitBallin on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And as always, keep spitballing, everyone.